So we have a bunch of new knives to check out from QSP. This is the Canary folder. I have actually featured this one on the channel already. This one is the new version in Ultim scales. It is in 14C 28N steel, and you can see they kind of hide it. So you can't see the steel when it's closed or open. You have to start closing it and then you will see it poke out. The clip is a deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws and reversible, and the thumb set action is amazing. This thing has super duper smooth action. Let's give it a little spine whack. Not failing. Good access to the liner. Very, very, very smooth. I love this, I'm gonna call it a drop point, but it almost acts like a spear point. I love that swedge right there. It's gonna be really good for utility cuts. You can get a full grip, and because there's no flipper tab, you can comfortably get close to that edge. The Canary's pretty cool, man. I like the neck knife and the folding version. Great gift knife, just great knife all the way around. Same with the Penguin. This is the new Penguin button lock. So now we have a Penguin with a button lock. This one's also in 14C 28N, but they have it stamped right there on the side. The button, really good action. I mean, I can feel it still breaking in. Solid detent. Remember, this is just a first impressions. I haven't tested any of these. We are going to spine whack this one though again. This one's good. The thumb, I'll say this, the detent is super good on this. Watch this detent, like as soon as you break that, ooh, I can fail it, but man, it's a button lock, so you can almost fail anything. But man, you give it any sort of effort at all, man, that thing flips. And then the thumb studs, nice strong, you see me slip off of it, nice strong detent. You can hear it when it closes. So yeah, nice little sound to it too. It has a little ting here and there. Liners are steel and they are milled out, and we have a deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws and reversible. T6 hardware, wish it was T8s, but you know, it is what it is. The Penguin is, everybody knows the Penguin. The Penguin comes in so many different versions, from large to small to regular size, all different materials, different locking mechanisms. There is a ton of QSPs, and this is just another addition to their arsenal now with a button lock. And there's a reason why, you know, it is a very popular knife. Now the next one is, what is the name of this? The Walrus. So we have a Persian or a trailing point blade shape. I'll say, man, this thing kind of reminds me of a Shirogorov. You know, I know obviously Shirogorov is on another level of quality, you know, it's because they're like $1,000, but you know, just the look of it. The look of it has the style of, you know, some recent Shirogorovs that were made. This one has burlap micarta, and I can feel the burlap, like literally. I can feel it. Like it's almost like the fibers are popping out of the micarta, which is really cool. I'm not going to say it's the best burlap micarta or anything like that, because it's far from there, but for a budget knife, it's pretty cool. The Persian or trailing point is in D2 steel. I'd prefer 14C, but the detent in action, holy cow, this thing kicks. And I've spine whacked it already. The only thing is I'm gonna stab this because it's a trailing point, so I'm gonna grab this and do it right here. There you go. Good access to the liner, and like I said, very, very smooth, man. The action on this is insane. Perfect detent. Like even with me trying to fail it, man. The ergonomics also really, really good. This is going to be great for skinning, self-defense, EDC. You know, as long as you do a lot of stuff with the belly where you cut down on a flat surface, that'll be fine. And if you do need to use the tip, you absolutely can. But with a trailing point, in most cases, you have to prioritize the belly, you know, because the flat area right here for slicing is not very long. Of course, you can slice, and if you kink your arm or your wrist like this, you can go down long cuts with a blade shape like this. But the tip is just usually not the priority. So, but you know, a lot of people, that's the way they use their knife. They use their knife with their belly mostly, cut down on flat surfaces and things like that, maybe skinning, and then if you need to use the tip, it's going to be in a different type of fashion, if you know what I mean. The clip is not a deep carry clip, and it's not reversible. It does have a G10 backspacer that is geared. The clip is very comfortable in the hand, so I will give it credit for that, and I'm guessing that's why they didn't do a deep carry clip, because it would have been very uncomfortable. So I'm not mad at it. I think it's ugly, but you know, it works, and you know, like I said, it's comfortable in the hand, so I'll give it to them. Not too bad. Actually, you know, for a trailing point, which I'm not usually the biggest fan of trailing points, I kind of like this one. Nice stone wash, and look at this stone wash. It's almost like it's very, very fine. It's a very fine stone wash. I like it. So as far as negatives with this one is, you know, T6s, obviously. We don't like T6s. The sharpening tool and plunge grind's fine. I'm not mad at that, but I am mad at where the stop pin lands in the plunge grind. So the stop pin lands, if you look, for the closing stop pin, right here, which is right behind the edge. It's right here. Now, yes, they added in a sharpening tool and the plunge grind's good. The plunge grind starts here, and it ends about right there. So they gave you plenty of life to sharpen off. However, the stop pin hits right there. So that's the steel that eventually I want to be able to sharpen off before I hit the plunge grind. So that just does not make sense to me. Now, will anybody run into that issue? Probably not. But the guy who is going to be using this every day as a work knife, as a tool, will. He will sharpen this thing, and when he sharpens it, he's going to sharpen all the way up to right here, and then he'll probably want to throw in his own plunge grind, or sorry, his own choil. Well, you can't. He's not going to be able to. Number two, he has the chance of, after he removes this much steel, to remove the steel where the stop pin lands. So I always complain about that. That is something I always bitch about when I see it, because, you know, I'm just waiting for the companies to understand and realize that it's problematic to put a stop pin behind the edge. That's the steel I'm sharpening. Think about it. I mean, I'm sorry I'm getting upset right now, but think about it. How do they not understand that the steel at the edge is where it gets removed from? We remove this steel, right? As we sharpen it, it keeps going farther and farther up, right? As you remove steel, obviously it leaves, right? It goes away. So as you sharpen, it's going to eventually sharpen back to here, you know, because as the lower you get right here, the farther you're going to go that way, right? Obviously, as you remove this steel, the farther you're going to go back this way. So once this steel's removed, you're going to sharpen all the way back to here. Now, that's a lot of life. Yes, that is a long damn time of sharpening. But like I said, for the guy who is planning on using it, or what if he chips his edge? What if he gets a huge nick in the edge? The only way to get that out is to remove the steel. That's the only way. There's no other way. If you break the tip, you can regrind the spine. But if you chip the edge, you have to take it from the edge. So, you know, that's a negative. The next thing is the clip is ugly. You know, and the thing is, I really like this knife. I actually like this knife. I think it's very ergonomic. The blade shape, I'm not a big trailing point fan, but there are some cases that I really like them, and this is one that is done very well. And the action is stupid good. The clip, I know, works well. It just looks ugly. But, you know, it's just, there is some negatives, in my opinion. That is it a deal breaker? No, not a deal breaker, but it's something to pay attention to and know, you know. Anyways, let's get to the next one. So the next one, the star of the show, the Capybara. Now, the Capybara, man, I feel like they're flexing with this one a little bit. We have a hollow ground sheep's foot blade, 17 thousandths directly behind the edge. They put a good edge angle on there with an incredible edge, man. They did a good job with this edge for a factory edge. Super solid. Seems like a good edge that I could hone back really well and strap back for a good amount of time, which is always really good. You know, when there's super high angles, that's a lot less it's a lot less likely you're going to be able to do that. So having a good angle, which it looks like it's about 20 to 22 degrees per side. But anyways, nice deep hollow grind, or relatively deep. It's got a nice thick blade stock. Beautiful jimping, perfect jimping. This is the type of jimping you want. And then you can see it's got tons of fat carbon fiber. We got fat carbon fiber studs, pivot collar, and back strap on both sides. That's awesome. And then you can see this milling on the titanium frame lock. This little pattern they did it on the clip as well. And then the back spacer, I think this is a gorgeous back spacer. Crowned back spacer with perfect jimping. This is also good jimping because it's not as sharp as this jimping, but it's, you know, good in the palm. Ergonomics, when I choke up or just hand melting, I can choke back very comfortably, you know, so if I did, you know, want to cut back here, I am a little bit of a distance away from the edge, so I'd probably most likely do it like that. But just the way this thing tapers down, it's really nice in the hand. The action is ridiculous. You would think that the detent, or sorry, you would think that this thing wouldn't flip that good because of how low the flipper tab is, but they tune this detent nice and strong. You can hear it, listen. Nice strong detent. So you break that detent, it is flying out. Perfect detent. Can't express that enough. This thing kicks. Kicks like a horse. Now, the thumb studs, now these are, if you look, you know, it's kind of hard to see because of the fat carbon fiber, but it does have, yeah, it's really hard to see because of the fat carbon fiber. It has a little bit of milling. It has like a 2-stair-step milling pattern where it's a little bit shorter here, then it steps up, and then it steps up again. You got it on both of them. Now, that, in my opinion, they made it perfect for the reverse flick. The reverse flick is phenomenal. They did a great job with the detent. It's got a nice, strong detent, but not too strong. Just perfect. Yeah, you can do it with the side of your finger, you can do it with your nail, you can do it with the fork, you can even put your skin right on the stair steps. It works great. Now, with the thumb flick, you don't want to land in the middle like I just did. You don't want to land right there. It's just, there's not enough, it's the gripping or the stair step is not sharp enough to do it unless if you go just a centimeter lower. So you want to position your thumb on the lower side of this stud, either right on the bottom or on that first step. And then it works great. Now my finger, you know, just naturally wants to land in the middle right there, which, you know, if I know I'm going to do it, you know, I can flick it, but you know, when I first got it, I slipped a couple times. So, you know, it is a thing, not a big thing, but it is a thing. But now I naturally know, drop your thumb a centimeter more. So is it a big deal? No, not at all. And you get used to it really quick. And like I said, it's not even really that big of a deal. It's not like something like, oh, I got to get used to it. It's not like that. It's fine. You're going to naturally pick it up the first time you use it. But man, the action and detent is super good. Good access to the lock bar, nicely chamfered, and then not, I would say not even like, it's not drop shutty. I mean, it is because it's on bearings. So it is, but you do have to give it some momentum. It's a shake shutter, that's what it is. There we go. It's a 2-3 shaker. Let's see. Drop it down to your thumb. Listen to that lockup. Lockup sounds good. Easy to get past the detent, and then 1, 2, 3 shaker. It's a 3 shaker, not a big deal. It's very smooth. You know, you don't feel a lot of friction or anything like that, or any friction, I should say. It does have a steel lock bar insert, and like I said, you have good access to the lock bar. Now, there's somebody in the community that posted a video, and forgive me, I can't remember exactly what channel it was. Man, actually, I'm very upset that I can't remember. It's just I watched it like last week, and I've been at my mother's and everything, and it's been days since I watched it, so I can't remember. So forgive me. Somebody will leave it down in the the comments. So they posted a video testing the locks on a bunch of knives. You've seen in this video, I spine whacked each and every knife. Now, they had a lot of knives in their video, and a lot of them were failing, and from all different companies. So there wasn't one company that was doing it, it was a lot of different companies, and some of these were very high-end, very well-known pieces. I used to test every single knife. I used to literally spine whack every single knife in pretty much every video, or at the very least off camera. But I have not lately, because what happened was over time, the locks weren't failing. I'd check them, none of them would fail. The only ones that would fail were specific types of locks, like certain button locks, so on and so on. So I would test those, but I wouldn't test every lock. So I'm gonna have to start doing it, and that's my fault, you know. And I do feel like I should, you know, I'm kind of accountable for this, because if I was testing them every time and showing the ones that were failing, maybe some of these companies wouldn't have put out some that did. Maybe they would have checked them. So I do feel responsible about it to some extent, that you know, I've obviously let some slip through, and you know, I'm not going to do it from now on. From now on, I'm going to check every single knife that comes through, and you know, if it fails, it fails. I'll call it out, and then hopefully we can get these companies to to check themselves so that we don't have to worry about that. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna do better. Slow rolling this thing, man. The detent is strong, but not so strong that you can't pop it out. And with this thumb stud thing, man, it's like it grips you back a little bit, so it's really nice for that slow roll, man. If you like a good slow rolling action, that feels really good. All in all, man, let's go over some negatives. So some negatives. One. Also, this thing does come in different versions. I should have said that. I've probably shown it on the screen already, but as far as negatives, T6s. I do not like the T6s. The clip does work well, by the way. I should have said that too already. Damn it, man. I'm all messed up. The clip, I think this milling on the clip makes it springier. Sorry. Because normally with little stubby clips like this, normally they're tight. This one's nice and smooth. It's got plenty of give, and it does kind of land on these, but it also lands on this smoother spot underneath. So it has no problem going in and out of the pocket. So that's cool. And I even tried them with my thick jeans. Now, as far as the negatives, again, T6s all the way around. I wish they were T8s. The next thing, I kind of already talked about it. And this is dumb. It's not even a negative really, but it's just an observation that, you gotta take your finger and move it down a centimeter or two. I kind of wish it was right there in the middle, even though I can't do it in the middle still. It's just, you slip sometimes. So, you just gotta go a centimeter lower. So is it that really a negative? No. Really, there is nothing else. Everything seems pretty good on this. The sharpening tool plunge grind's really good. I love the jimping. I like the style of it. I like that it's, it's pretty unique and different, even though it's also not, if that makes sense. But QSP, man, they are, they're doing really good, man. They are knocking things out of the park, and I gotta respect it, They, like I said, with this one, they seem like they're flexing a little bit. Now, I know there's a lot of other incredible knives from QSP, and I'm not taking anything away from those ones. They were definitely flexing with those as well. But it's awesome to see QSP progress, and they do have all different budget, knives from very budget all the way up to super premium. But man, dude, they do a good job with their premium knives. I don't think, like, if you tried some of their budget knives and maybe they weren't like your flavor, your style, don't let that take away from what they can do with the premium knives. Holy cow. And some of their OEM work, my goodness. Anyways, work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.